Hey there, Internet friends. Trevor Starkey here with what will probably be, at least for the foreseeable future, the final TV Thursday. If you're unfamiliar and you only tune into like these videos or something like that, for whatever random reason, Sunday is going to be, I believe, Sunday is will be day 365 of daily video content, and that's basically where I'm going to call it for the time being. I'm still going to do a handful of projects here and there, and still have some videos coming up, but TV Thursday is not one of the things I intend on continuing on, really, in large part because I just don't watch TV in the same way that I used to back when I started this, and so I haven't had a lot to really kind of discuss in terms of the TV realm. But today, for kind of the final one, I am going to discuss, sadly, mourning the death of a couple shows that I really enjoyed, but also am part of the problem and have not watched recently because of my lack of really engaging with TV in the same way. And that is Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Last Man on Earth. Both of those shows was announced kind of are getting the axe, not going to be renewed next year. Based on my Twitter feed, it seems like a ton of people are hoping that Netflix comes in and saves Brooklyn Nine-Nine, myself included, because everything I have watched of that show, the first handful of seasons, I've really enjoyed. I just haven't gotten into it since basically Peralta and Holt went into hiding, I think. I think they had to do that at one point, and they kind of like pushed their way out of hiding, I feel like, but yeah, that's kind of where I got lost in terms of the storyline of the show. Last Man on Earth, on the other hand, I thought that was an incredibly clever and unique show, an interesting show, especially kind of the first few episodes where it was, the first episode is almost entirely just a Will Forte kind of solo act. It was like surreal to see something like that on TV. And it took people like Will Forte and January Jones and Chris Michelle, who I've never really liked so much. I mean, like they're good in small doses, but in kind of a larger role, I didn't really know how much I was going to enjoy them. And in this show, I thought they really kind of played into their strengths very well. Same on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Andy Sam. I remember when Brooklyn Nine-Nine came out, I was like, Andy Samberg, that's going to be a lot of Andy Samberg. But I was so blown away by the rest of the ensemble in that show, and Andre Braugher as Lieutenant Holt or Captain Holt is just phenomenal, and such a joy to watch and see him play kind of the straight-laced cop, but also like playing against all that other stuff. Terry Crews is phenomenal in that show. Stephanie Beatrice as Diaz Rosa, phenomenal. I love seeing her. Just everybody in that show has been wonderful over the years. Craig Robinson and his kind of recurring role as the Pontiac Bandit was a ton of fun. They did a great job kind of bringing in guest stars here and there. And I'm definitely going to miss that show. I look forward to eventually kind of sitting down and really kind of catching up on everything I've missed and seeing, because everything I hear is just the show has gotten better and better and better. And I have no doubt as that ensemble has just continued to mesh wonderfully. It was the same with Last Man on Earth. I haven't watched it a season or two probably, but I really enjoyed what I was watching back when that happened. I want to say I stopped watching that one around the time the kid came into the show, sometime during that season, and then just, I don't know, my Hulu subscription kind of got away from me or something. I just kind of stopped logging into Hulu on a regular basis and just didn't really check too much out. So I've definitely got some catching up to do on these shows, and I was reminded today in kind of the news that they will not be continuing on, what good shows they are, what fun and enjoyable shows they are. Last Man on Earth, a very kind of unique premise and approach to a sitcom, more or less. And I really love how they kind of really leaned into like the dark humor at times, be it with characters, dying suddenly or unexpectedly or something like that. In this, world where most of the world is dead, and they kind of had to deal with that. And then the ensemble of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, unsurprisingly phenomenal. You have a lot of the same people from The Office and Parks and Rec, kind of a lot of that spirit in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So of course it's going to come out with a wonderful ensemble comedy. And they all did a great job, and I hope, especially Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I do hope it gets kind of picked up and maybe a new lease on life in the Netflix sphere. I think it's the perfect kind of show for them, especially as we see something like Arrested Development being picked up and continuing on for a 5th season here in a couple weeks. I definitely hope Netflix takes some Twitter campaigns to heart and gives Brooklyn Nine-Nine a second shot over there. So those are my thoughts on the death of, or potential death of, The Last Man on Earth and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Let me know your thoughts on these shows in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Trevor Starkey from TrevorTrove.com. You can follow me at SnarkyStarkey on Twitter. And until next time, from here at the Trove, treasure your friends.